In his first 2 seasons, no other quarterback has been better than Justin Herbert. Arguably the most productive quarterback in NFL history in his first 2 seasons, will this be the year he finally makes the playoffs and makes a deep playoff push? In this video, I'm going to predict the LA Chargers 2022-2023 NFL regular season. And I'm going to predict if they're going to make the playoffs. Week 1, they play at home against the Las Vegas Raiders, a team that is way too loaded. Again, way too loaded. With the additions of Devontae Adams, the best receiver in football, already having Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs and Hunter Renfrow, and a top 12 quarterback in Derek Carr, I think the Raiders are going to be a well-improved team in arguably the hardest division in football. However, week 1 at home, it's going to be a lot of Raiders fans in this stadium, but I think Justin Herbert comes out strong and they win the game. Week 2, I have Kansas City winning Thursday Night Football. This is in Kansas City. It's a tough environment for Justin Herbert. Early in the season, it's Kansas City's home opener as well. I think Kansas City wins here, but I think they split overall in the division later on. I think they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, not really much to say here, and the Houston Texans, not much to say there. They also beat the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's going to have no Deshaun Watson in the first about 6 to 8 weeks, most likely. So there's not really much to say here. Week 6, we're going to have a great game. Monday Night Football. Russell Wilson, the new Denver Bronco quarterback. I think Russell Wilson is being underrated right now. Russell Wilson was the reason the Seattle Seahawks were even making the playoffs the last 3 to 4 seasons. He's still the winningest quarterback in the past decade. He is still putting up all-time statistics, one of the highest passer ratings of all time. He still had 103 passer rating last season, 25 touchdowns, and 5 to 6 picks, if I'm not mistaken. He was pretty good last season. He wasn't like Russell Wilson due to his injury and to the trash team around him. I said it. Defense was horrible. Coaching staff was putrid. Offensive play calling was non-worthy to mention, and the O-line has been horrible for his whole career, to be honest. I think he's going to be great with Denver, but it's in LA. I think they also split. I think this whole division splits with each other, but I have LA winning here. They also beat Seattle. It's at home. Seattle's going to be one of the worst teams in football. They come out the bye and they beat Atlanta as well. Their schedule is actually very favorable. If you look at it, they play Jacksonville, Houston, Cleveland, Seattle, and Atlanta very early in the season. And by this point in the season, they could be 7-1 and argue the best team in football. But I see them actually going on a little skid right here. They lose to San Francisco. It's a tough environment for Justin Herbert. I think Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance are going to be vibing by this point in the season, and their defense in San Francisco is nothing to joke around. I have them beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I said they are split. Mahomes and Herbert, arguably the two best talents in the NFL arm-wise. Week 12, they play the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're just better than Arizona. By this point in the season, they should have DeAndre, and Arizona's probably going to make the playoffs next season. But I think Herbert is better than Kyler Murray, and I think the Chargers as a whole are better than the Arizona Cardinals. Week 13, I have them losing to the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they split in their division. The Raiders are going to be well improved next season, as I said, with all the new additions they have. And this is in Las Vegas. You're going to have a lot of Raiders fans. Week 14, they play the Miami Dolphins. This game is going to be tough, but I think the Chargers win. Miami is going to be pretty good next season. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs due to that stacked AFC. But I think they're going to be improved on the fact that Tua is going to have better weapons, Waddle and Tyreek, and that defense and a young offensive-minded coach. So I think this is the year Tua has to show that he's legit. Week 15, I think they beat Tennessee. My bad. I think Tennessee wins here. Little upset. Derrick Henry is going to run wild in that D-line. That improved defense, but Chargers have been very bad against run-heavy teams, and I think Tennessee is still going to be about 8-win team next year, so they're going to sneak up and get a win right here. The Colts game, that could be for whoever makes the playoffs. I just think the Chargers are a little better than the Colts. They have a better team, they have a better quarterback, and I think that's the difference. I also think they beat the LA Rams. Stafford and Herbert, two good to great quarterbacks, and when they're on their A game, they're both amazing. In my opinion, I think Stafford's a little better and was a little better last year if you'd include the playoffs. But I think the Chargers win here, and they have to win here to try to win their division. In Week 18, actually, I have them losing to Denver. Denver's at home, Mile High, probably going to be a snow game. It's going to be bad weather. It's an LA team going to bad weather. Russell Wilson is going to make the playoffs next year, may make a deep push, and may win the division. For all who knows, all four teams can make the division and make the playoffs. I have the Chargers going actually 12-5, better than the Kansas City Chiefs. I just think their schedule is more favorable, and I think that as a whole, Justin Herbert is going to be well improved next season and prove some of his doubters that, it takes a couple years to make the playoffs, and it takes a couple years to get consistent with your coaching staff and your players around you. And this is just his second full season as a quarterback. If you discount his rookie season, played about 13 to 15 games. They're gonna be 12-5 in my opinion, and they're gonna be very well improved next season on all facets, especially their defense with the new additions they made in J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack, alongside Joey Bosa and Derwin James. That defense is going to be scary. But that's what I have LA Chargers going. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's get to the next one.